I do expect all 4 of these runners will probably go to the 2 first route as we are underway here in our Quattro race. So yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to see one of them at least put up a time close to their PB. We'll have to wait and see. So, Isolated, the 2 first route is considered one of the... Whoa, wait a second! I am wrong! Where's Jazz Thief going?
I think he's going for the 3 first.
Whoa, okay. Commentator right away eating his words as you see Tetra, Garion, and Scorpion Max heading 2 first. Jazz Thief is, if he can hit the scroll, headed to level 3.
So I guess now we can talk about the differences between 2 first and 3 first directly.
That's what I was about to get at, and now we have reason to. So Isolated, what is the biggest differences in your opinion between the 2 first route and the 3 first route?
So the 2 first route is a little bit easier on the combat because generally you're going to pick up the white sword. You're not necessarily Gleeok gated by the Gleeok on level 4, which on 3 first you'll do with Wood Sword 4 hearts. On 2 first, I think it's like 8 or 9 hearts and White Sword. And it's also not as dependent on the screen scroll in order to get to certain areas more quickly, just due to the way it's routed.
Yeah, definitely a lot more difficult combat that you're going to see Jazz Thief, as he's already down to 1 heart. He's going to have a much more potentially difficult go of it. Although this route is so much faster, it is so much easier to die, especially at level 3 and level 4 bosses, where you have 3 and 4 hearts respectively in just the wooden sword.
You know, an apt description for 3 first might be high risk, high reward.
That's a very good description of it, actually. You'll see the runners who are more experienced typically run that route, but you will see runners with amazing times who've done thousands of runs of this game still fall to Gleeok, still fall to Manhandla, still fail to get their necessary items in the 3 first route to really make it a good run. That's why you'll see them reset. Ooh, Garion misses a bomb. He's the first to get to Troll Dongo, and he definitely got a Troll Dongo.
Look at that. Just all of the walking.
Even with Troll Dongo, Garion's the first to the level 2 Triforce, with Tetra and Scorpion Max both hot on his heels. Meanwhile, Jazz Thief, still down to 1 heart, is going to clear the Belfry in level 3, the shoot room, and pick up the floor bomb off the floor.
So that floor bomb is something that, at least as of late, I have seen be more, not necessarily contested, but more of a choice where sometimes runners will decide to go up to that top route and get that bomb off of the floor drop instead of trying to get a lucky bomb off of the Dark Nuts.
Somebody in chat saying somebody missed a key. I'm not sure who it was. Judging off of the key counts by those 3 runners, they all have 3. Ooh, Tetra takes a death on the Armo screen. She's got to return there immediately.
That's any screen on the overworld generally is rough to take a death on. The Armo screen, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, isn't the worst one to take a death on compared to, say, White Sword screen or somewhere up on Death Mountain. But it's still a little bit of a pain to have to walk all the way back there.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's not going to be a humongous difference in this race. She'll lose probably a minute or so behind Garion, who's now going for the Northeast Secret, the 100 Secret. So I believe we're going to see Garion possibly making a play for the blue ring. Meanwhile, Scorpion Max gets some rupees out. Let's see if he decides to get that 100. It does appear like he's going to, so possibly at least 2 runners going for the blue ring route, as Jazz Thief got through level 3 and heads into level 4. Good run so far for Jazz Thief.
And something else to note about the 3 first route, and that's why Jazz Thief's bomb count being at 8 right now is so important. The bomb routing on 3 first tends to be a lot more tight than 2 first, just because with 2 first you're generally going to leave it with 8 bombs guaranteed. Whereas 3 first, you may leave level 3 with 1 bomb if Manhandla is really bad.
Yeah, and running out of bombs before you get through the upcoming ladder clip we should see Jazz Thief attempt would be disaster, because then you have to fight a Manhandla with 0 bombs and a wooden sword and 4 hearts, and you're lucky to get through Manhandla once in a run. You don't want to have to deal with him twice. That's nearly impossible. Ooh, nice clock again for Jazz Thief as he heads towards the breakfast room.
Looks like he had attempted to force a lucky bomb drop, but unfortunately wasn't able to, just the luck wasn't there. We'll see if he tries to force a bomb in here.
So it'll be interesting to see with Jazz running the classic world record route, at least so far, and our other 3 runners appearing to go on the blue ring route. It appears that way early anyways. When these routes converge, which won't be until about level 7 or so, it'll be interesting to see who's in the lead, and we can kind of play it like a game and kind of speculate all we want. There's no way to know for sure.
Well, there is one minor detail of the 3 runners that are running the 2 first, supposedly blue ring route. Garion is short 2 bombs because of his troubles with the Dongo, and that may force him to have to fight a few more enemies to try to get a bomb drop later on.
Something to keep in mind is Garion is our first 2 first runner into level 1. Jazz Thief attempting this extremely difficult ladder clip in the dark.
And for folks watching at home, if you're looking for a visual cue for that ladder clip, you want the very top of Link's hat to be lined up with the color change on the top rung of the ladder before you go to do the clip.
Well, speaking of missing keys, I saw that one. Jazz Thief went for the error key and didn't pick it up, so hopefully he realizes that he didn't and either picks up another key somewhere. Otherwise, that could be a potentially huge issue down the road.
Jazz Thief also has another issue. He's got no bombs.
So, yeah, good point. I mean, there is a backup for this. I mean, at least he got to Gleeok with 0 bombs. I mean, not the end of the world. He's having a great Gleeok fight so far.
You just got to be a little bit careful, as it's very easy for Gleeok to just 1-2 combo you down very quickly due to the way his fireballs spawn.
Got a little clenchy at the end of that, but he pulls it out. Gleeok goes down, but with 0 bombs, we'll have to wait and see what Jazz Thief decides to do. If you don't have bombs for level 1, you can go the long way around, but it does require you to pick up an extra key. Well, he's already short a key, so he's going to have to pick up 2 if he goes to level 1 now.
Could he potentially go ahead and world wrap over to 2, then do 5 and do 1 after both of those?
That is actually a great backup strat, Isolated. That is a really, really reliable strat. The only problem with it, as Garion finishes off Aquamenus, he'll be our first level 2 runner out of level 1. The only problem with it is that you have a lot of very difficult bomb management in levels 5 and 1, and some 2 first runners are pretty used to that anyway, so it shouldn't be a huge deal. It's just something to keep in mind.
Well, he does get the lucky bomb drop off of the Moblin, or was it the Octrock? I don't know which one it was, but he does get that.
Yeah, so he takes a gamble there. He heads out of his route to farm for bombs, and that is a risky play because there's no guarantee. So he gets very lucky, gets a bomb drop, and now he can continue on his current planned route. So big break for Jazz Thief there.
So we're seeing the runners pick up some heart containers, and there may be a question of, well, why pick up the heart containers if you got to go into the cave, listen to the old man? And that's for the white sword in the case of 2 first, and for the magical sword in most, if not all cases, that you want to have, or need to have 12 hearts in order to pick up that magic sword.
Correct. You might think that saving time on the heart pickup is the correct strat, and for the task that is true, but I mean, unless you're, Lack Attack or Unos, somebody like that, and even then it's still going to be slower. Beating the game with the wooden sword is a tall order.
So as we get a little further in, it looks like Tetra has picked up some, looks like a couple of our runners picked up some extra rupees. I don't believe I've seen Tetra pick up a candle yet.
As she heads into this cave now, I think you're calling it. I think she's going to pick up her candle now, and she does. Meanwhile, Max headed in the same direction. Let's see. He already has his candle, so I imagine they're probably going to be both beelining for that 100 secret so they can purchase their blue ring. Although, Tetra's 5 rupees short. She needs to farm a 5er here.
Well, we could see either of these 2 runners do what Garion's doing, and that is if he is going to purchase a blue ring, he's going to get it after level 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're both headed to level 3 immediately, so we'll probably see the blue ring purchased by all 3 of these runners after level 3 is Garion. Very nice Dark Nut room. He'll be the first of those 3 to get the wrap. This is actually, if you're watching the 3 2-first runners right now, it's a pretty darn good race.
Oh, absolutely, especially with Scorpion and Tetra being pretty much room for room right now, with Garion just a couple rooms ahead.
Yeah, just to remind the viewers, there's actually 2 races going on. This is not a 4-way race per se. The top race, garionoldwolf versus Tetrali, is its own race, and then jazzthief81 versus Scorpion Max is the other. But it's still kind of cool to see, 2 different competitors, basically, like you were saying, room for room. This is incredible.
And I'm looking at Jazz Thief's key count. It seems pretty low.
Yeah, so Jazz did not pick up an extra key in 1, which would probably be the play I would make. So there is an extra key in 6. So, I mean, he'll know when he gets to level 6. He'll be out of keys and he won't be able to advance. And luckily, there's a backup key right there. So definitely a developing storyline we need to keep an eye on for Jazz Thief. Hopefully he catches it before it's too late.
Absolutely. Looks like Jazz is now going to head back over towards level 5. He will be our first runner to go through Fort Gibdo.
And here is our first of 3 manhandler fights for Garion. Uh-oh, we may have a troll handler. Be careful, he's down to 2.5 hearts. 1 more sword hit.
Oh, just gets him.
That was close. He holds on. He's the first level 3's runners out, and it appears Tetra or Scorpion Max will be in there very shortly.
It looks like Jazzthief is going to go ahead and go double hundo, seeing as he came out of level 1 with 20 rupees.
Yeah, not a bad play at all. Rather than wasting time farming rupees and potentially not getting them anyways. Ooh, Scorpion. Oh, he gets a troll handle, but recovers nicely, and now it's Tetra's turn. Y'all, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ooh, perfect manhandler for Tetra, and gets the bomb drop.
Very nicely done. She made up a tiny bit of time on Max there. Man, these 3 2-first runners are neck and neck. And meanwhile, Jazz Thief quietly having a pretty solid run. With the double hundo now, he has all the rupees he needs other than 130 secret to beat the game. So we'll oh wait, no he doesn't. He needs 40 rupees. I'm sorry, he needs 40 more rupees.
Yes, he'll need to get 2 5-rupee drops. He may try to force those in level 2, or hope he gets lucky with some of the ropes.
He could also just get the double hundo in the woods. I think I kind of got a little confused on his route for a second.
Actually, no, he does need the 100 secret because he needs to buy both the meat and the wooden arrows, and I have not seen him buy either.
Yeah, you're right. So he's on the normal double hundo route. That was on me. I was a little confused there. So he's perfectly fine. As garionoldwolf enters level 4, Jazz Thief's headed to the room of requirement after he gets through Fort Gibdo. Why do they call this room the room of requirement? What's so special about this room?
What? This staircase room coming up? I've never heard it be called the room of requirement.
Oh, well, some people call it the Olive Garden. Some people call it Rip Run. Some people call it the best room in the game, Kappa. The required room to get to the recorder.
Oh, well, it's got many blue dark nuts. You have a wooden sword. This is interesting.
Headed into the penalty box, I believe he's building up his count so that he might force a bomb here.
That could very well be. So this room has these 6 blue dark nuts. They need to die. They take 8 hits with the wood sword or 2 bombs. And you need to come out of this room with, I believe, at least 1 bomb.
Oh no, and he dropped 5 bombs, and every one of the bombs he dropped, the dark nuts turned into it. So I don't know if very many, if any of his bombs did damage there. He's got to be careful.
And on top of that, he has that bomb count stored up, so he doesn't want to just drop his bomb and hope that something dies. This
is a crucial moment for Jazz Thief. He's got a count built up. If he can drop his bomb right here, he'll be okay. Takes a bop, loses his count. Now he's in dire straits.
He's going to have to wood sword down every single one of these dark nuts, and that's quite a lot of stabs, especially as you were saying that we're not sure how many hits he got off on the dark nuts because of the shield mechanic.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, if a dark nut turns into the direction facing your direction when you drop the bomb's explosion will not do any damage to the dark nut. So, and because they do 2 hearts of damage, he takes 2 more right there. This is a very, very difficult room, as you can see. And doing pretty good job of it, considering the circumstances, but he's still got a long way to go. This is just unfortunate for him.
And what'll be interesting to see is our 2 first runners will have the white sword coming in here. And really, to me, having the white sword in here from 2 first gives you more margin for error, but it doesn't necessarily make the room easier, per se. As opposed to the Gliok, which not only do you have the white sword by that point, but you also have more health and maybe a blue ring.
Speaking of Gliok, Garion takes care of Gliok with little trouble. Blue ring and white sword makes that fight relatively trivial. And Jazz Thief does get to the recorder with a little bit of health to spare and still has a bomb left for Dig Dogger. So it was slow, but it got the job done.
So let's talk a little bit about why it's so imperative to leave that room with at least 1 bomb remaining.
All right, well, there's a hidden mechanic, long story short, involving timers as Jazz Thief gets a trolley pattern. He's got to be careful. He's just got to get through this room without taking too many hits. Oh, he makes it.
Very nice game of dodge, Dark Nut.
Scorpion Max gets through Gliok also with little trouble. Tetra's having a little issue, but she recovers. Should be fine. Dig Dogger, if you blow the recorder, but you drop a bomb before you toot the recorder, the bomb will explode on the first frame after the recorder finishes playing. What this does is that means it'll immediately damage the Dig Dogger pup for basically 4 hit points of damage, meaning you just have to hit him with your wooden sword 4 times to kill him. Dig Dogger does 2 hearts of damage every time he touches you. So it's imperative that Jazz Thief has that bomb, otherwise it becomes a very lethal fight.
And the other fun fact about Dig Dogger, while we're on the topic, is he speeds up the longer he is shrunken down to a cap. So you want to do exactly what JSR was saying. Bomb him, let the recorder go through, and then just hit him as many times as you can before he starts going crazy.
Yeah, and it becomes dangerous. You'll see some runners pick up the wooden boomerang in 1, specifically for that reason, since the wooden boomerang does stun the Dig Dogger pups. You see Jazz drop the bomb, toots, and uh-oh, here goes Dig Dogger. He's got to be careful. Oh, no!
That is a really painful death to see.
Very unfortunate break for Jazz Thief. The good news, of course, he has to go back to that room anyways, so it's only a time loss because of the fact he has to go back through level 5. But now he has 0 bombs, so hopefully these Gibdos are bros, Gib bros, and hook him up.
If he does get a bomb drop near this Dodongo room, do you think he'll come back and farm up to 8 bombs?
I don't know. The thing is, with the route he's on, he's headed to level 2 next, so he'll be able to get his bombs refilled in level 2 regardless. The problem becomes, is he going to be able to get through Dig Dogger now with only 3 hearts, and you're going to see him have to sword this Dig Dogger down 8 times if he doesn't get a bomb.
And I was a little mistaken. I was thinking of 2 first, which 2 of our runners are doing, and one of them has picked up a potion. I didn't see if Garion also picked up a potion in that heart cave. He may have just not.
Well, I suppose if you want to look for a silver lining in Jazz Thief's death, he cleared the Gibdo room out looking for bombs. Did not get one, but he did get the floor drop, which is a key. So his keys are good now.
And it looks like he did also pick up a bomb pack at some point. Not quite sure where.
So it'll be a little bit of a different fight here. I imagine we'll see Jazz Thief. Oh! Pulse Boys, please! I imagine we'll see him drop a bomb, menu to recorder, and then drop a second bomb immediately, which makes this fight relatively trivial.
Ooh, kind of a sketchy bomb drop. He played the recorder a little late. Looks like he might have missed it, but nope, he's got it.
All right, nice recovery there for Jazz Thief. He's out of level 5 as Garion's headed into the rumor requirement with Scorpion Max hot on his heels.
Ooh, the darkness turned at just the right moment.
Wow, good room so far for Garion.
That blue ring, that does give him, again, a little bit more margin for error, but it doesn't... I don't think it's as big of an effect in this room as it is in the Gleeok fight in 4.
Yeah, Garion takes a little bit of damage, unfortunately. He's down to a heart. He's got to be careful. He does make it. And Jazz Thief begins his world wrap over to level 2. So with only a heart remaining, Garion's got to be very, very careful here.
Especially on the Dig Dogger fight, and maybe even some of the rooms getting to the Dig Dogger, such as 2. Looks like he's
wise move.
Level 5 with no issues.
Yeah, and that's probably the correct move, honestly. You don't want to just risk it all when you've got that potion in your pocket. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, than taking a death when you've got a potion sitting in your inventory.
We have Tetra heading into the room of requirement. Let's see how she handles it.
Garion farms the Zols, does get a 5-drop. He needed that to make his shopping trip after level 5 as Jazz Thief heads over to level 2.
Absolutely. So we have a question in chat from Psychog2. What is no Up+A? Basically what that means is that if you pause the game and press Up+A on the second controller, so what you can do is use that, hit continue, and it'll take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, or the beginning of the overworld, depending on where you are. There are certain places where this is useful, such as after picking up this recorder, after picking up the raft, and in this category...
So Garion and Scorpion, both, thanks to Garion's potioning, get to the level 5 Triforce, at least on our screens, simultaneously. And Tetra not too far behind. She's got her potion out. I'm not sure if that was... I
believe it was because she used all of her bombs, because it looked like she was still bombing the Dark Nuts when the potion came up. And it looks like Scorpion Max picked up an extra heart somewhere.
Heart rather than the potion by mistake, possibly?
Either that, or he may have chosen to take the extra hearts, thinking that that one heart will be more valuable to him than the potion would be. Which, for all we know, that may be what he's comfortable with.
Actually a good question. Very few speedrunners, if any, use the GBA version. It's a very awkward game to play. Most of, if not all, speedrunners that I know of use the NES version or the Wii Virtual Console version.
There's no similar functionality. Although I believe there was a feature that was built in that you could reset it as if you were resetting the NES at any time, but that doesn't help any.
All right, so it appears Jazz Thief And we apologize. We're doing the best we can to keep you guys up to date as Tetra takes care of Dig Dogger and is out of 5. It appears as if Garion and Max are both in 7.
And we saw Max actually go for the floor drop of bomb. Surprising amount of floor drops if you can clear out the rooms. I believe there's also one in that blue Guerrilla room. And I want to say there is a third one that is also on the way to the boss of this dungeon.
Even be another one. If you're good enough to keep counts through these Guerrilla rooms here, you'll see runners set up with a 2 count going into Dig Dogger, and with a clean Dig Dogger count and a good reverse C, you can force a bomb on the last Wallmaster.
Say hello to Mr. Meat Block.
Yeah, the day they find the meat skip will be a glorious day for the Zelda 1 speedrunning community indeed. So it appears that Jazz is actually the 3rd runner into level. ISO, and I'm not sure if it's the same for you. It appears that our runner that's in the lead of these 4 is currently Garion.
It looks like it is Garion by about a bomb. Because Scorpion is right behind him. And Tetra opting to buy some bombs with the extra rupees that she had before going into level 7.
Yeah, not a bad play at all, considering she has the bombs required to beat level 7 now. It will come back to bite her a little bit if she needs to use arrows at all.
And Scorpion...
Man!
That is a tough break for Scorpion.
So, what that does, because Jazz Thief is now obviously in 7 already and is a good ways through... it's hard to tell the positioning. Retaking the lead in that race.
Yes, Jazz Thief is about, I'd say, 4 or 5 rooms ahead of Scorpion Max now, based on the map locations. He killed the Dig Dogger, so he will get a little bit of that time back. Maybe not much, but at least a little bit. Although 7 with likely 4 bombs to Jazz Thief's maybe 0.
I'm going to try to pull up the multi-stream. A bit of technical difficulties. We're trying our best to get them worked out. So Garion into 6. He's into the Belfry. Has a decently sized lead over Tetra, although Tetra's not that far behind. But yeah, even with the Wallman Jazz Thief.
And important to note, for Jazz Thief, he did manage to leave 7 with 1 bomb, which is going to help him out tremendously in 6, as he won't have to be concerned about taking a bomb or taking the long way through the Gliok.
Good health, is taking a few beams, but overall having a decent 6 so far. Good magical breakfast room, too, for Garion.
And what you'll see as these runners enter level 6... that the magical sword helps against, it's these Wizrobes that would take 4 and 10... I believe it's 10 hits, respectively, with the wood sword versus 1 and 3 with the magical sword.
Now Jazz Thief and Scorpion Max both into... As garionoldwolf finishes off Goma, he's the first runner out of 6, and Tetra is currently picking up her magical sword. Yeah, we apologize, folks. We're doing the best we can to keep everyone updated on what's happening, so bear with us. All right, so Max now into the Magical Breakfast Room 1, and oh, it appears that Jazz Thief took a death. I didn't see where it happened, but he takes a death in 6, and Scorpion Max retakes a commanding lead. That is unfortunate. Big time bad luck for Jazz Thief here. And Max has plenty of health. He'll be making it through level 6 most likely. And he's through level 6. And garionoldwolf into level 8 had a very nice Blue Lagoon number 1. And unfortunately, Jazz Thief takes a second death in 6. So just a really bad streak of luck for Jazz Thief. Meanwhile, Tetra's in level 6, doing quite well. Eight for Garion so far.
Now, keep in mind that even though Jazz Thief took a death, he is not out of this yet, as one death later on in, say, level 8 or deep in level 9 could
Magical Breakfast Room. So this first one should be clear. So all he has to do is get back to the screen he died on. Garion taking on Gleeok number 2 with the magical sword. Just a pretty trivial fight. And he's the first one headed to level 9 at 32-35. garionoldwolf. Scorpion Max headed into the Blue Lagoon 1. And Tetra has a very nice level 6 of her own. And she's not far behind Garion. So we do have a race, folks. This is not over yet on either side. To answer your question in chat, 7-8, that was another death. We're trying our best to keep everyone up to date. We keep everyone in the know of what's happening. So luckily for Jazz Thief, he does finally make it through the Magical Breakfast Room 2. So he'll be able to complete 6 as Scorpion makes his way through level 8. garionoldwolf steps into level 9 at 33-4. So he'll be the first one on his way to the final showdown with the Beast.
And what you'll see on Garion's side now is that he's going to pick up this key in this room. This is the fastest key to pick up in level 9. He will no longer...
Max takes care of Gleeok with a little bit of health remaining, and he'll be out of level 8. Jazz Thief out of 6, so about a level 8 behind. On this, she doesn't care. She's going after him, and it's very quick room. Maybe a little bit more damage than she would have liked to take, but she's through the first Blue Lagoon.
And seeing as I've got each runner splits up,
yes, he is. Not by a lot, but he's enough that if he can have a clean 9 here, like you called it, Isolated, we could see a PB from garionoldwolf in this race. He has a decent next room, takes a little bit of damage, but he makes it through as Tetra gets through. And this race is far from over.
And we're seeing jazzthief now pick up that potion. Probably after the death in level 6, he may not... I don't know if he's necessarily spooked or if he's just wanting to take some more cautious strats. Not getting the Patra glitch.
Max takes his first steps into 9 at 35.45. So a full level 8 in front of jazzthief. But jazzthief does have a potion in his pocket now. So it's going to be up to Max. As long as he picks up her Triforce piece, she'll be headed to 9 shortly as well. Meanwhile,
Garion has entered reverse C.
And he's low on health. He's got to be careful. Nice.
He's got some extra bombs to work with for later in 9.
Yeah, very nicely done by garionoldwolf with low health. Still green, folks. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he gained some time there.
You know, I'm not sure.
Well, she's headed to 9. Good Blue Lagoon 1 for jazzthief.
It's like Garion's going to go ahead and potion right there. That is absolutely the correct thing to do.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, he wants to PB, and this does hurt his chances a little bit, but this room...
Absolutely. It is always faster to take a safety. It is usually faster to take a safety than to die. In fact, I think it's almost always faster to take a safety than to die.
Absolutely. Take that risk. Go into level 9 without a potion, and it doesn't matter who that runner is. We've seen it from some of the top runners in the game, myself included. Not having a potion in 9 can really come back to bite you. See how it goes for him.
Looks like he got a favorable pattern there. The wisdoms just kind of lined up right into his sword.
Yeah, both Max got plenty of health here, folks, and I believe he still has a potion in his pocket, so this could be a PB on Garion's side. Let's see how he finishes up.
Garion does not have a potion. I believe that was his last potion that he used in the room after Reverse C.
Still have a good finish to this run if he's careful. And is in position to be our first of our 4 runners to finish. Let's see if he can finish off Ganon. Down to 2.5 hearts. Here he is, folks.
So every time, you will always get that first hit for free. And then it's just a matter of does he spawn on the left or right.
Oh no! We had him down to 1 hit! We had him down! No!
Oh!
Him a hug, and Tetra takes the lead in level 9, and Garion has to go all the way back. That is unfortunate.
So, right now, the big silver lining for Garion is he does not have to clear fight on the way.
Yeah, I'm watching on the restream. We are a little bit ahead. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but unfortunately, Ganon just appeared right on top of Garion. There's nothing he could have done about it, and he's headed back through 9 now. Tetra, meanwhile, she can have a clean run. Now, keep in mind, Garion doesn't have to get the silver arrows, and he has to clear one less room, and also no Patra 3. So he has some chances to catch back up. It's still not over yet.
And it looks like we have Scorpion Max now entering game.
For Max, he does have 7.5 hearts, and I believe he still has a potion. Gets the first hit, takes a driver.
2 drivers.
Oh, hang on, Max, he gets him.
We have our first Ganon down.
Max, our first winner in this race with an official SRL time of 40 minutes and 53 seconds. Congratulations to Scorpion Max, the winner of the Max versus Jazz Thief race.
Even though Jazz Thief has lost the race, his average time is still going to matter for this tournament, as it will be used to, I believe that's going to be used to determine some of the wildcard seeding.
And one in the tournament, you are guaranteed a berth into the tournament bracket stage. For everybody else, it doesn't matter what your record is per se, unless you're tied. It's going to be on average times. Record is only really important for who you'll end up playing. That extra win in his pocket, and moves on to 2-2. So congratulations in order for him, as Tetra on her way to Ganon. We have a rematch here between Garion. So Garion overtook Tetra. This is actually a really close race, but he's got to be careful.
I'm really the best of patterns.
Oh, be careful. Hang on, Garion. Down to 1.5 hearts. Only 2 hits left. Down to 1 heart. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, down to 0.5 heart. And he finishes him off. The comeback after the level 9 death. And unfortunately, it appears that Tetra ran out of bombs, which is the reason that Garion overtook her and is going to come back to win this race with 0.5 heart remaining. Wow, what a bad break for...
If she cannot get a bomb in this room, which now she cannot, there's no quick way to get bombs at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tetra, her real only option is to take a death. If she goes up from that room with the whiz robes, she will end up soft locked. And it's garionoldwolf, second place in the IRC, first place in his race with an official SRL time of 42 minutes and 56 seconds. In the commentator's booth, GG to both of you guys. We'll start with Max. Take us through your run, sir.
The run overall went pretty well, except for that wall master level 7. I didn't think.
And with that sound, we have our winners, Scorpion Max and Gary.
I had almost forgotten that you can do that, so it was quite a surprise to me. But yeah, I saved like almost a minute on the last split. I had a couple of golds in the run, so that was a pretty good run overall for me. Pretty well, except for that.
Yeah, that Wallmaster did allow Jazz Thief, who also a death in level 6 is two deaths in level 6 as well. So getting Wallmastered allowed him to get back in the race a bit, but by then you had opened up about a level lead on him, and you had a very nice level 9. So
yeah,
we'll get to Garion's run in just a moment. Has full health, so it should be a pretty straightforward fight for him, and gets a good Ganon spawn as well.
Yeah, it's Oh, well, that...
does get the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in chat for our runner-up in race number 1, jazzthief81, with an official SRL time of 45 minutes and 26 seconds. I don't know if you can hear my voice. I can't say anything in the IRC, but you might be soft locked, and unfortunately, you'll have to Up+A here. There's not anything else you can do, and it is in the rules. It is allowed, so you can take an Up+A if you need to. The official stream up. I don't think we're live, folks. Are we live? Can anyone hear us?
If you can hear us, say apple.
Banana. Oh, wait. This isn't a randomizer. True. So I don't know if we're live or not, but we'll keep going as if we are. Garion, GG to you, sir. We loved that pace you were on, man. You had a shot at PB. Was that going through your head at all?
I entered 9 ahead about 7 seconds, but then by the time I got to the silver,
Still,
my
it was...
PB, I had both Tetra 1 and 2 skipped, so.
Well, definitely, regardless, it was a very good run, very clean. You had the lead of our 4 racers the entire race. Unfortunately, Ganon, Tetra, the reason that you were able to come back and the reason that she's still in 9, unfortunately, was she used 1 too many bombs in the reverse C and ran out of bombs and ended up soft locked. So she had to use the Up+A to get out of the soft lock.
Yeah, I've made that mistake before.
So
I've tried to remember to always keep 2 bombs leaving reverse C just to avoid that happening.
So as we cheer Tetra on, she'll need to get some bombs here so that she can finish the run. And she's actually headed... So she has a couple of bomb chances in these rooms with red Wizrobes, but she'll still need a bomb drop to finish the game, unfortunately.
Did she kill Tetra 1?
I assume she did. I didn't see if she skipped him or not. I assume she did kill him.
A little surprised to see her not just, well, outside of jumping in and out of 9, would respawn a couple of Wizrobe rooms. That may be the best route to take at this point, because there's some blue Lionels just outside of level 9 that can drop bombs too.
Yeah, good point. In it does. She gets a fairy.
There is also directly south of the first staircase you come out of a 9. If you go south in that room, there's like 8 fires in that room right there.
And with that sound, we do have our runner-up in race number 1, jazzthief81, joining us. GG, sir. Before we get to our questions about the run, what were your thoughts on your run?
Yeah, that wasn't a very good run, I'm afraid. I missed forcing a bomb in level 4. Bombs on the overworld on the way to level 1. And yeah, the recorder room also, I think almost all of my bombs whiffed. So I lost... kind of stupid. Room in level 6 where you usually stab for the orange Wizrobe to appear. And instead I dropped a bomb on him. And that was my last bomb. So I had to go to my way to get a bomb from one of the Wizrobe. Good.
Yeah, we were surprised to see you go with the 3 first route over the other 2. So I mean, not so much surprised, but it was a pleasant thing as a commentator to see the divergence. And you had a good start. It was like the one spot that really changed your race with Max. But you came back strong up until level 6, which was just unfortunate. But with all the adversity you faced, you bounced back pretty well. And, you know, congratulations on finishing the run. Max, you go up to 2-2, as does garionoldwolf. Your thoughts going forward? How are you guys feeling?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish 2-3. I don't expect to win my next matchup, but when I entered the 1-4, so getting a second win is already more than I had planned at the start.
Yeah, you've done very well in this tournament, Max, for sure. And you definitely have impressed everybody with how fast you've picked this game. Able to squeak in with the wild card, so I definitely suggest practice as hard as you can, and hopefully we'll be able to get you a shot at that, as we have Tetra entering the commentator's booth with us. Tetra, what happened to you there?
Oh, do we have to talk about level 9? I was going to say, though, that I think the theme of this race has been how one relatively small mistake that normally would just be just progressively get worse over the course of a run. And that's kind of what happened to me this time.
If it makes you feel any better, I've done that many times. I once did that on a potential what would have been my first sub 30. You handled it very well. Unfortunately, just had really bad luck, and I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes level 9 is just so cruel.
Yeah, no, it was just one careless mistake placing a bomb too soon. The one I was very, let's just say, disproportionately punished for. But no, to be honest, it doesn't really make me feel much better for you to say that, but I do appreciate you trying, and GG to everyone. Yeah, doing my best to be a good sport about it.
You had a great run up until level 9. In fact, you and Garion were very close throughout the run, and all 3 of the runners who went 2 first just within screens of each other for the majority of this run. So definitely technical difficulties. It was kind of hard to see it. So if you'd like to see more of these runners, make sure you give them all a follow. They're all very deserving of it. And I want to thank you all for a tremendous race this afternoon, and for to wish you guys the best of luck going forward.
You covered everything. Let's see. Yes.
So best of luck going forward, you guys, and thanks so much for a very entertaining race today. The schedule in front of you, Isolated. If not, I can do it. Would you like to take us on out of here?
Let me pull the schedule up real quick.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody stay tuned. We've got tons more exciting marquee match. I'll let Isolated take it when he's ready.
I'm ready. So we have got today King Doll versus Zarnax 42 at 3 p.m. Eastern, like just about now, actually. over on random 11:59, which is basically midnight. We have Reeves versus BT over or right here on Speed Gaming 2.
Yeah, it should be a great match. You've got two runners, both 2-1, both very capable. You took a rough loss to Four Eye Steven last round, going up against Reeves. Both of them, not, I wouldn't say desperate for a win, but definitely do not want to lose. So it should be a tremendous matchup. And then King Doll and Zarnax also 2-1. So we've got us a barn burner matches.
What was that? Maybe we should send folks over there.
All right, folks. Well, thank you very much. My name's James. I go by JSR. For my co-commentator, Isolated999. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. Take care and have a great evening. We'll see you guys next time.